Hello everyone, this is Atmavid Patnaik. I'm currently a data science intern cum researcher at Cellstrat. As you see, our presentation is. Are you able to hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, uh, Today our today's topic is real-time facial emotion recognition with facial gestures. And let's start our presentation. See, I'm before starting the presentation, I can see why emotion detection. You can see in the slide that major companies they are facing some kind of challenge to getting the feedbacks or surveys, or they want to see their products from a customer perspective. See if a customer sees something, what he reacts after seeing that particular thing or product or anything. So in that way, uh, some AI researcher in the past they developed this algorithm which is related to we can capture the emotion so that uh, it will make the life easier for the company as a company perspective. So you can see emotion detection through facial gesture is a technology that aims to improve the product and services performance by monitoring the customer behavior to certain products and service staff by their evaluation. We can go to the next slide. Some major companies they're using emotion detection. You can see the major three companies I mentioned here are Disney Plus, Kellogg's, and Unilever. Disney uses their emotion detection to find out the uh, like how the customer reacting, or how they like Disney Plus major product is their content services. They hire some people and see the testing with their emotion, how they react of some programs or any scene or particular scene. I'm not mentioned here, I just researched yesterday. uh, so that they can easily rectify, okay, what is the rating of this particular program or any kind of content. Klux is also doing the same things. You can see here. They are using they're using this Affectiva software to test the audience reaction for their ads for their cereal products. Same goes with Unilever. They're using HairView AI-powered technology to screen prospective candidates based on the factors of body language and mood for their products. Now we can go to some other use cases. You can see in the video gaming industry, they're using the computer vision algorithm for their facial emotions and related to when someone playing some video games, they're using their facial emotion. In education, it is really important because uh, I mentioned the students which is related to autism category, because giving training to autism students, which is really a very difficult task. uh, because of this algorithm you can easily uh, calculate the emotion and how they react to the numbers, how they react to the picture, and what was their reaction if they see some particular numbers or picture, or if they listen some kind of story, so that they can rectify, okay, this students is more into this subject or more into that subject. Car safety also, we use the same thing. uh, you can see the right this images, sorry, can use this images, like when someone is driving the car, what was their mood of that particular time, if he is anger, distraught, fear, happy, or neutral, sir, so that they can predict the, okay, what is the probability of they can he or she will make an accident. If he is an anger or fear or something like that, what is the probability for a nervous breakdown during driving, so that they can prevent that thing before that. In public services, we can see here United UAE, they have installed their AI technology face detection cameras everywhere, so that they can They can see the people's facial expression and general mood of the population. Something I mean to say, it can be a data breaching, but still they are using this technology. Retail companies also, they're doing the same thing for their customer, by whenever someone visited a supermarket or see a product during that, okay, how they react to that thing. Okay, next you can go to, yes, this is the like the when machine sees a face, it only looks for the feature which is given here. There are some features available: left jawline, chin, right jawline, left eyebrow, right eyebrow, bridge of nose, bottom of nose, left eye, right eye, outer edge of lips, inner edge of lips. You can see they created, there are some around 68 points which combines for a face. Here you can see, if it relate to 0 point, if computer want to see the left jawline, it will relate to this, which is the center of the jawline face, which is somewhat around 0 to 7. And for chin it detects, sorry, this is the left jawline. Just for chin, this is the center of the point is this. For eyebrow also the same thing, it will point this thing. And all the computer understand the face. You can see here the lines between this. These all are like the Euclidean. Hello, someone, I think, are you able to hear me?
Yes, all good.
Yeah, you can see the lines here which is connected to the center of the face. You can say here the center by looking at this face. The center of the face, the center point of the face is this nose point here. You can see all the line, all the dots who are given here are connected to this point. You can say it is like a Euclidean distance from one line to another line, so that a computer can analyze this is a face, and this is for eye, this is for nose, this is for lips, and everything. In this way, computer understand the like the map that this is a face and not any other thing. Any questions related to this slide?
So, friends, this is how the emotion will be detected by marking the crucial, checkpoints on the face.
So we can go to other next slide.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have a doubt, sir.
Okay.
How are the points which you specified, like for the face, for the eyes and the nose, how are they identified, sir?
See, the image I have downloaded from this source, they gave 68 point. In some images you can see there are around less than 68 points. So but this is like a universal kind of thing which machine understand. For this, for there is no points here. You can see in the forehead, machine only sees the eyes, the nose, the lips, and the jawline. So in this way, these are identified. It's given the points to that to this space.
So, in training data, these points will be hard coded, right? So, these points will be
Yeah,
hard coded in training data. So, we are saying we'll focus on these points and
yeah,
probably have some kind of regression going on to these points to see when these points are displaced from their expected position.
yeah. If something is displaced here, if some extra points are given here, machine won't consider it, because the nose point is, we all know nose point will be here, like this only. It can be 68 point, or it can be 40 points, can be 28 point, but the position of the point will remain constant. It will not change.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Can we move to the next slide?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. about the data which I'm using for detecting the emotion. Uh, Actually, in some cases, we need a huge number of data to get a good accuracy. But I didn't use any huge number of data. I created my own data set. You can find the data set in Kaggle or any Google research platform also. You can find there some data set, but I didn't use that. I created my own data set by clicking picture of my face with my webcam with some random expression. Created somewhere around 500, somewhere around 400, 500 images, and I've shuffled those images, created in, stored them into 3 folders. Each folder contains around 115 to 120 images. As you can see here, the folder is the data. Uh, this is I created its 3 folder, giving them the category confused happy. It doesn't mean that in happy folder only contains the happy images. I shuffled the images, randomly pasted it by creating the folder. Okay. Data pre-processing. The pre-procedure with the like the step 1 is input the images. Step 2 is feature selection, where we can scaling and cropping the images, making the greater feature classification, where you can classify the images, and the next will be the train the images. Let's go to the most important thing of this. Let's start with the aim of this presentation. We start with Viola-Jones algorithm. And if anyone is familiar with that, with this before, so this
No.
algorithm, okay, this algorithm is developed by Paul Viola and Michael Jones in 2001. This is like the till now is one of the most powerful algorithm which can detect the face, and it divided into 5 aspects. One is detection, Hall-like feature, integral image, training classifier, and adaptive boosting. In the first this image, you can see it contains this first part, detection. See these boxes in this particular image. These boxes are moving with some particular stride, like 1 2 3. Whenever it moves towards the face, you can see it creates the classification. If let me just give it, see, it created a one box here. It won't find anything here. When it moves to here, okay, it finds something, some object here which is called forehead. Then it moves here, it won't find anything. Then it moves here, it won't find the any kind of face data. Actually, let me I forgot to tell you one thing. This algorithm, which is basically used for Haar cascade classifier, which that's a classifier which classifies the face, detect the face from a random particular any kind of images. This classifier uses to detect the face. So this is the first step, this algorithm used for that classifier. Oh, okay, then when it moves here, when the box moves here, you can see it detects the nose and lips, and also, sorry, in this box also you can see detect this eyes and the eyebrows. Then it moves here, it didn't find anything. It moves here, it also didn't find any. But when it moves here, it detect the face, like see this one, eyes, nose, and lips. Then again it moves here, and it won't find anything. So it decided that the face position is here only. And let's move to the second Haar-like feature. Okay, here the Haar this is called the Haar cascade, and also in the Haar-like feature, you can see here, it contains some feature which is edge feature. One is edge feature, one is line feature, one is 4 rectangle feature. Edge feature is this when the some part of this is white and some part of this is black. Line feature we can see is two parts of is white, and middle part of this the feature is black. Is again edge feature has come. If already we have I told you that some part of is if the part is completely sharing the black and white only, then it called the edge. Line, then four rectangle feature. See, just see the images, see the image. Okay, it's very small here. I'll move back to the this thing. Okay, see the image here. See the lips here, the lips part. Are you able to see now? You can see, and for this classification we need grayscale images, we need black and white images. In color images it can't be detected this the features. If you see closely, the lips are in between the teeth and the lips is the dark side here, and here you can see the lighter part are here. Then again here it is the dark side, so we can easily detect this is the I already told you, if one the part is like one middle part is black and two part are the light, then in this image it is the line feature, you can say it is the line feature. And here in the edge feature you can see here this nose part, this nose part is also the same. Here you can see the middle part is light, and the two nose, sometimes the two nose are dark, sometimes the two nose as light only. But in this particular image it is also, you can say this is a line feature. But when you look into the eyes, in the eyes you can see the eyebrows are darker side, forehead is the lighter side. So we can call it is a edge feature, it detects the edge here. So in this way you can see this image, you can see these images. In this way it collected the feature from a particular face. Are you able to see this? See this image turned into a grayscale, then it created some feature from this face. Any question?
So,
Yeah.
what? How do you identify if there's makeup, sir? If it's not grayscale, if the image is not grayscale?
No, we have to convert the images to the grayscale. Otherwise, it won't find the feature. In the color images, it won't possible
So
because
will this so will this algorithm work even though the person is has applied makeup like the color picture?
it depends on the it depends on the grayscale. If you convert a makeup lady's images into a grayscale, yeah, in the grayscale it contains only two colors, right? Only black and white. So yeah, it will definitely capture. It depends on the images. See, in this image you can see this is also a grayscale images, this is also a grayscale image. So it will find according to the feature which is given by this image.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, can we move to the next slide?
Yeah, one more
Other,
thing. Like,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so is there any dependence between the input dimension and like, do we need to specify that the input dimension should be, let's say, a 1080 by 1200 or something like that, or it is
No,
independent of?
no. We don't need to put dimension here. It's only
Yeah,
works with the colors which is given by
uh,
this
yeah.
image.
I was wondering because uh, uh, the the convolution will have a specific dimension, but input can vary. Like input can be of 480 by 1200 or 1080 by something, right?
Yeah.
So will it work or it will throw some exceptions?
This is very different from the convolution. In this
Okay.
Har cascade classifier, it only detect the face and related to face only. So, and all the pixel you can see here, all the feature, all are the rectangle. You won't
Yeah.
find, yeah. And one more thing, this is like a combine of all filters. You can if you do it, move to whenever I start the programming part. I'll explain that. There is a different algorithm for detecting the eye. There is a different algorithm detecting the lips, nose, and basically these four things are common, which is lips, eyes, nose, and ears.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ears don't required. We can replace it with the forehead only.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. How the classification works. You can see if a new input image is given to the classifier, it compares the hair feature from the XML file and applies this XML file content is available in the CV2 library, and applies to the input image. If it passed through the stage of hair feature comparison, then it's a face or it's not. You can see here, if we move to the part, this hair-like feature here, see, if these all are pixel, right? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.8. Whenever some boxes like these boxes which are moving, it creating the pixels for that particular area. See, each boxes creating the some pixels which contain from like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.21, 0.1. This is like the more darker side, so it increases the pixel value 0.6, 0.8, 0.9. So in this this the ideal case. This is for real face. In the ideal case, what the machine do, this classification do all the converted like 0.1 to 0.5, it converted into 0, which belongs to the white class, and above whatever pixel is coming after 0.5 is converted into the 1. So in this way you can detect the this is the feature which contains the black and white part. And for after that, what it does, like it count all the pixel value here. It count all the pixel, like you can add 0.6 plus 0.8 plus 0.6 plus 0.8, 0.8, 0. Suppose the and it calculates the average here, like the suppose the black average is like 0.5. Black side area of average is 0.5, and it also calculate the white side of white side area. Suppose it is like 0.1 average. What it does, it you can see black minus white is equal to 0.4. This is the threshold value for a particular feature. I'm not talking about this thing for a whole image. It's only for a particular feature. So if you can see here, the boxes are moving. It's better for this thing. You can see here, boxes are moving. It's also calculate the threshold value, like in the forehead, for the eyes also it calculate the threshold value. For this part also it calculates the threshold value. This eyes also again it calculates the threshold value. Then for chin, for nose, everything it calculates the threshold value. So computer fix those threshold value as if the threshold value of eye is like 0.3, and for nose it is 0.4. Then for eye again here it 0.3. Then for lips it is like 0.2 or 0.3 again, or 0.5. It will come looks like it will come similarly, but it calculates that there will be different values for a face. Then what it does, if there is an image where there is a this is a face part, and there is some multiple things are also there in that particular image. How it detects, if if the boxes are moving, if suddenly in that point detect the threshold value is 0.4, we already computer has already decided that for the I part the threshold value is 0.4, so it must be I, so it detect the I's here. Then here is the 0.4, again it is 0.4 came, it is the I here. For the nose part, sorry, for the nose part here it calculates 0.3 or 0.2 in between those eyes. So it's in the pre is already learned that the 0.3 part is the nose size, so it detect the nose. Same goes with how it detects the lips and the ears, or even forehead also it calculate. Any questions on this? So we can move to the next slide.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Okay.
So while detecting a face, will it actually detect the parts of the face and then join it together and then process it, or what?
Yeah, it whenever it moves to if the boxes, whenever the boxes are moves,
Okay.
it calculated the pixel first. These are the pixels.
Okay.
What is the pixel value?
Hmm.
And then it whenever it moves towards the face, it also calculated some pixels, and in that point of time it like classify them into zeros and ones in the grayscale, which is the darker side, which is the lighter side. Then it's calculated the like the threshold value. uh, uh, then in the whole, suppose there are some like 2 to 3 images, 2 to 3 faces from that particular image, and some in that three faces, 2 faces are shown completely on those images, and one face is like some crop. So in this algorithm, it only as of I already said, it already decided the threshold value of some nose or some eyes. So whenever it moves towards the images, it will detect that face, and whenever that boxes moves towards that cropping images, it will not detect that face, because that face is not shown properly.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. So
Yeah.
for 0.4, which color it will be?
For I've told you, right, from 0.1 to as of this image, you can see here it decided to make a wide scale from 0.1 to 0.5. So whatever comes under 0.5, they comes under this lighter area, and whatever the pixels which is comes after 1.5, it contains in the darker area. It's not like it's not like the only 0.1 to 0.5. It can be more, it depends on the image. Okay.
So for every point, there will be different shades, no, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, I was asking for 0.4, for which shade it will be. Like for 0.3, it is a little more darker than 0.3. So which shade it will be for 0.4 and
It,
0.5?
0. Till 0.5 it will comes under the light. It trains on as this only. After 0.5, I'm talking about this matrix only. You can find there are some lighter some images which is more darker than this or more lighter than this. So it decided
So
the
for every image, it will be like this only, sir. From 0.1 to 0.5, it will be lighter only. From 0.6 to 0.9, it will be darker. For every
no
image, it
no
will be,
no
or
no not for every image. See, if this is the image, see this is the image, we can see here the darker side are very less here. If you contain this face here, we can see like 0.1 to 0. Light is more lighter here. So we can see the which is, then we can we have to specify which in that lighter part which is more lighter and which is more darker in that. And if you
Like,
look at this image, if you look at this image, this grayscale image, this is like you can find here, this eyesight is more darker here than this one. This is
So
lighter.
Atmaved, basically we are trying to detect edges,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When there is a transition from white to black pixel.
Yeah,
Agree? So, but there may not be pure snow white and dark black.
yeah,
There could be
yeah,
grayscale.
yeah,
So you are trying to decide what counts as an edge.
yeah.
So what is is it 0.1 going to 0.5 in the adjacent pixel? Is it an edge? So that's the threshold you are deciding, right?
Yeah.
But how does it know that this is the point it is nose? So I got the edge detection, which is normal CNN feature. So by color transition between adjacent pixels, you can detect the edge. But how does it know that this is the nose zone?
Uh,
So far we have not reached that point, right? Where
yeah,
we are classifying nose or eye. We are just saying there
yeah,
is an edge here. That's it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Can we move to the next slide?
so there can be
So
a minus point,
So, folks, I
like
hope you
minus
understand
0.
when two adjacent pixels change color, that means there is an edge, right? If two adjacent pixels are of different color coding, different intensity 0.1, 0.5, that means there is a transition between two adjacent pixels. That means there is an edge. Agree? Now, whether that counts as a good enough edge is left to your threshold determination. Whether it is enough transition from between one pixel to its adjacent pixel to consider it a threshold, to consider it an edge, or is it not enough? Let's say 0.1 to 0.3 may not be considered a transition enough to make it count like an edge.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this clear to all?
Yeah, one more thing. Like the threshold value that we are talking about. So is it a hyperparameter or a parameter? So is it something like we decide, or is it decided by the model at
In
the time of
this,
training?
yeah, this in this high Harked classifier, it already it decided that this is a nose, or this is whenever this kind of edges will come, it is the nose, it is
For
the
every
eye.
facial feature. For
Yeah,
every
yeah,
facial feature. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
No,
Because this,
Atmaved, the question
yeah,
is what is how do you decide the threshold? So
Yeah.
yeah, threshold I've told, right? It calculates the
Uh,
pixel value of the black, then it calculates the pixel value of the light, and it black minus white is like
uh,
0.4. This is the
yeah, yeah.
threshold value of that box,
Uh,
whichever box is moving.
I'm sorry, I think you didn't get my question. So it is
Okay.
something like we know that there is a boundary. Now
Yeah.
we have certain set of lines. Now from that, lines or edges, we call it edges. So we have certain set of edges. Now we are deciding that this set of edges is forming a nose or a eye or maybe
Yeah.
your lips, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that we have some sort of threshold value, right? So
Yeah.
that threshold value is predetermined by us, that is hyperparameter, or those values are tuned by model itself, that is parameter.
Uh, in basically what I've known that uh, in Har cascade classifier it was already determined the
Okay.
ages. Yeah, but yeah, there we have to go into some deep on that, how it determines and what are the ages, how they calculated the ages on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, then move to the classifier approach. You can see here, uh, this is the, and basically what I want to tell you, um, eh, we are talking about integral image. What I have we have understood till now how it detect the face. It moves toward the box, calculated the value and calculated the feature. What kind of feature is that? So, and integral image is like a hack to calculate it more faster. Something if you say there is a box here, this image here. Okay, yeah. I'm talking. I've given some pixel here, 1, 3, 4, something like that. Okay, and this integral image, what it does, we already know that the Haar cascade classifier feature are only the size of the feature is only rectangle only. So what we did, we cumulate the value of each and every pixel here. Like if this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, then it will be like 3, it will be like 1 plus 2 plus 3, then it will be like 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, this will be 3, this will be like 1 plus 2 plus 3 again. This contains, this box what we see, this contains the cumulative of this whole box. Again, this box contains the cumulative of this whole box. Then again, this box contains the cumulative of this whole. Same goes with this box. It will be like this whole box. This box cumulative. It counted the pixel value of this whole box.
Sorry,
What?
pooling the pixels.
No, it just it's not pooling. It's like what we say. It's just calculating this this how integral image like working. We can't say that it is pooling, but yeah, it's somehow related to pooling only. What? How like it like if a certain, if this is the whole picture, if the face position is here, how it only detect this face, whole face, and avoid all the things whichever appears in that image. This is the way. uh, like in this box we can say that okay, the it contains all. Then after the accumulation part is complete, it looks for the highest pixel value of that. Suppose definitely it will come under this or this box. If the pixel value is like something 100 here, it contains this box, and it also go for the top right corner of that, of this one, top right corner. Then it look for the top left corner, and also it look for the sorry, bottom left corner, and it look for the top left corner. It calculate if this value is like something like 84, and this value is something like 20 or some 2 or 1, this is like a 1 or 10, maybe anything. So what it does, it calculate this top bottom corner minus top left corner. So in this way this part will be removed from that image. It only shows from this to this part. So in this way it found one part of a face. Same goes with then it moves to this box, then this box, like this one. Any questions? Anyone understand, or I can explain again? Now we are talking about this integral image aspect.
Yes, sorry, I couldn't understand the commutative part and the max pooling part. So it somehow got mixed for me. I'm not sure about the others, but
Okay.
for me to it
Okay,
looked like
yeah.
So can you explain it in phrase diagram, because it is looking
Okay.
too complicated for me in this diagram. Yes, sorry for that, everyone.
Okay, this is the image, right? We have created, so these are the filters. We divided into some filters. We the filter value is 1, 3, or 5, or 6, 7, anything. and the boxes are moving towards each filter. So how this integral image works, it calculate the filters. Like if it is 1, it is 2, it will be like 1 plus 2 plus, it will be 3. So something like that, that will give them the value, each and everything. Then in the it then goes to the, it created another image. It can say that some sub image or something like that, where the all the calculation are happened. And if then it looks for the highest calculative value, highest pixel value. Suppose you'll definitely what I meant into this box, you'll definitely get a highest value here where the face is, because other than face there will be some blank faces or something, some thing which this hard cascade classifier won't give those weights. It only give the weights to the face only. So you will see definitely, while if the face location is here, you will get the highest pixel value here only. So as I already said, it only determines the face, not any other thing. Nose, eyes, wherever the eyes, nose and lips are there. So what it does, how it select, how is crop the images, like how is avoid all the background from that face, only focus on the face. If the face location is here only, sorry to say, if the face location is here, the pixel top pixel value is somehow around 200, it will look for that box. It created a box. If the if it is if it found the highest pixel value here, it will look for this whole box. This will the highest pixel, it consider that the highest pixel value in the bottom right corner. Okay, anybody understood? It only calculate that this position as a bottom right corner. Then it looks for the top right corner. Then it looks for the bottom left corner. Then it's look for the top left corner. It's created, it will create 4 boxes out of this one boxes. What it does, it calculate the bottom corners, like this one plus this one. Then also it calculates the top corner, this one plus this one. It subtract them, so that it will get the area, of this thing, also this thing. If there is a face in this area, it will count there as a face, and if there is no face in this area, it will remove that. Anybody understood, or I need to?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, can we move to the next slide? Okay, this is the classification approach. This is the algorithm. Fx is equal to alpha 1 f1 x, alpha 2 f2 x, alpha 3 f2, till whatever feature you can add. This is the input image. F1 is the feature and alpha 1 is the way to the feature. What we can say here, these are very weak classifier. This is the strong classifier, these are very weak classifier. F2, all the F2, F3 there, and our job is to leveraging the power of all the weak classifier and make it to a strong classifier, so that it will gives us better accuracy. Like if you add more and more feature, the model will give you a proper accuracy. We can call it also N7 method. And see this image. First, I've already showed that it will create a sub image from this main image. See, it is the frame image. The frame image here, it created all the sub windows, then load here, added some feature. You can see the line feature, these are the edge feature. Also in that in this stage, you can see, you can have a rectangle, square feature also there, some feature. It will decide the, okay, these are the feature, these are the eyes or load, and it also subtract the all over this by this image, what, integral image. It remove all the backgrounds here, only detect the face here, all the faces are here. How it detects the face, the cascade classifier up. If you, we can also send the add a boost, because it boost, if you add some more input feature in this, it will boost the model. Okay, any questions? So we can move to the next slide. You can move, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this is the process of CNN architecture, how it detect the class or happy. And one more thing I forgot to tell you, that in each and every hard cascade approach, in the first part we have already discussed this thing, the points of the position of the eyes and eyebrows and nose and lips. If somehow if sorry, this is a face, if the position are all normal here, the position are all normal, you can see that is the image is fine, and something, it will only activate, it will only like activate for a emotion, there are some changes in emotion, if sometimes the eyes are bigger or mouth is open. If the mouth is open, then the feature, the age feature also will be changed, so that machine can detect that, okay, something happened, so it changes the emotion. But what I have seen till now, in many cases, like the no position of the nose, if you are like, if you are happy or sad or any in any express which is related to those, the nose position will be constant. Many, sometimes some curiosity or some angry face, the nose position maybe it will go up or go down, it depends upon the lips. But the major part are eyes and lips. Computer only focuses on eyes and lips. If eyes are getting bigger, it rectifies, okay, something happened, something changed. Okay, and this is the process. We can discuss now or during the coding. Okay, we can discuss now. Here is the CNN process, which which we can make till the to create a model. And I just like to maintain it, like I'll just divided this thing into four four steps. The first step is the first step is first step is converting those images into an array, which is really required for if you are doing a CNN kind of thing. Array is important, otherwise it won't accept, machine won't accept. Second time is using the filters to reduce the dimension. See, we can use ReLU. Mostly I use ReLU in this program because it's a rectifiable angle. It will like removes all the which comes below zero, it will remove that. Like below zero is like if in a certain image, anybody familiar with the ReLU?
Yeah.
Yeah. In certain image we also can see if there is no image, it will posted as a negative, so it won't take that value. Only ReLU for cropping the images. We get I use ReLU here, detecting the ReLU. Then move to the, let's go to the third step, which is pooling layer. Pooling layer, I use the max pool. You can see here it created to pooling. We use basically pooling layer to reduce the dimension, and we are trying to feed the actual feature of the images. And yeah, in pooling layer we use the this pooling layer. This slide is only related to how to build a model for a particular image set. So these are all the pixels: 16, 32, 64, 120, 256, 510, and this is the 250 with. These are the layer. How much layer you can see. And after doing the global average pooling to then soft, we also use some softmax technique, so that it will multi-class. It is used for multi-class classification. If I don't know what, I don't know why not it doesn't require in detecting a face kind of thing. And we can also use like other like FaceNet and VGG19, something like that, for a better accuracy. But in face classifier, what I've tried with that, and what I find is it gave me the same accuracy whenever I use CNN or any other things. So when I go with CNN only. Okay.
Now, this Atmavel looks like your up convolution you are doing. The
Yeah,
image's size is increasing. Normally in a CNN it decreases, right?
no, it I don't, it related, it will be like this only. It will be like this only, but these images, I don't know. I
Yeah,
downloaded this. Yeah.
yeah, like the size of image will decrease
If you
when the
yeah,
convolution gets bigger, right? So
yeah,
convolution
yeah,
gets bigger, so the output image get decreases.
yeah.
It
It
is
will be
something
like,
like
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, height
It will be,
minus convolution by
yeah. It
strand.
will be like this only. Is the input image? It will reduce the dimension. Reduce the
Okay,
dimension.
so yeah, so the diagram is not indicative of the
Yeah,
reality.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, diagram indicates the convolution size,
Yeah.
so it does not
Only
indicate the image size.
it only yeah. It only detect the convolution size. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's move to the code part. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Here I import CV2 for image detection, OS for OS related, created a data path, input the image I created. And Keras utility, I will use this and create a numpy, uses numpy for creating numpy array, numpy file. So let's run this. Okay. Now I created set my data path and data. I already told you I've created a data folder which I've given only three input feature: angry, confused, and happy. In this, you can see I've randomly shuffled some of my images with different expression. Put it here. Let's run this. Okay, now you can see it created three levels. One is 0 for angry, 1 for confused, 2 for happy. Now
So,
let's.
which dataset are you using for training this model?
I created my own dataset. I took picture from webcam
Okay.
and using this. See,
Yeah.
see,
Okay.
this is okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, and one more thing: if you have an image with a better lighting, better capturing, you'll get more. You'll get a better accuracy also. Okay. This is, I've defined the cascade here. This is the code for cascade. Whatever thing I told you till now, it only comprised into one code only. This is the cascade CV2, and it includes in the CV2. No need to install install this XML file. It includes that CV2 library. I took the image size of 100, randomly took 100 out of this 400 for training purpose. Okay. Now let's move to this one. I created a folder path, Then also, yeah, I create the image already named that folder as image path. This, yeah, whatever I explained till now related to Har Cascade classifier, this implies with this one code only, cascade.detect multi-scale image. We can also divide it into, this is the like the whole face. If you don't want, if you want to detect only eyes or lips, there is a separate like cascade. There will be also cascade.detect, cascade eye dot detect multi-scale. If you want to only detect the lips, you can write cascade lips dot detect multi-scale. Okay, and these are the faces coordinate. I use x y w h for eyes, nose, lips, and forehead. And this is the coordinate and height. I created a subface by cropping the images. Don't need the background. Then I converted into the gray scale. This is for the gray scale. I resize the images gray. Then I append the resize image, target, set a target for that. Okay, let's run this.
Sorry, so do you happen to know if how we are resizing the images? So is it something like we are doing max pooling, or we are just cropping the external
No,
portion?
yeah, we're just cropping the images
Okay,
and
we are cropping
resizes.
images.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is the for the normalization. I'm using this. This 250 is the RGB value. I know we all must be familiar with that. Let's run this. See, then I created two folders uh, for to store my data, and then store my images like data.npy. I created two numpy folder is there. Data.npy is storing for the images. Target.numpy is storing for the labels I created. So yeah, let's run this. Then I can show you my folder data. Sorry. Yes, data.npy, target data.npy. Yeah, we created these two things. Now let's build a model. If you guys are using TensorFlow above 2.4, then you have to write the from tensorflow.keras.model. Otherwise, if you are using TensorFlow 1, you can only write from keras.models. Okay, let's run this. Okay, here I created my convolution layer. I added 200 3 by 3. You can also add 2 by 2 if it's required. And I added activation ReLU and max pooling size of 2 by 2, so that I can reduce the dimension here. And also I added one more layer here. Then I added the added the flatten layer which is used to convert those images into one dimension array, which is required to count the probability of what is the uh, model accuracy. I've added the flatten layer here. Then the dense layer, you can, if you want, you can add more dense layer here. 64 I've added before. It was like 64, then I reduced to 50. We also added here the dropout layer. You can mention number dropout. And here also I the final two layer of output, I created this thing. The dense I've added 3 because my labels are 3: happy, confused, and angry. I've used softmax here for my the detection face, creating the face. Then I compile using Adam stochastic gradient matrix. Let's run this. Okay, then you have to train, test and split the data. Okay, here you can see I created one checkpoint for placing the model. My checkpoint is the training. I've also created one training folder here before creating this okay, I forgot to tell you one thing. When we created this data.npi, target data npi, you have to create one training folder to store those files. So in that training folder, I've created this thing. Okay, let's run this. Propose 0. So I use callback because it only stops whenever the best accuracy. Some like we use callbacks to get a view on internal state of statistics, and also it stops the training whenever we find a certain accuracy at some level. So I created only 12 epochs because it was like very slow whenever I run with more than 15 or something. So I decided to go with 12. Let's and the I made model with the H5 mode only. It will be easy to run. You can add if you dot model also. You can add if you want. Sorry, what happened? Okay, let's remove the previous model I have created. This is the previous model I have created before. Let's remove those. Run again. It ran. It will be like very slow. The image size was like 100 images I've trained, but I'm running it into the local, so that's why it is getting slow here. Till now everything is clear for you guys. Hello.
Yeah, obviously this needs deep learning expertise. If we have new folks here, they will not understand, which is fine, but they'll get some sense of it.
Okay. No, I didn't use that for data set because it needs like I think I created from my own image because it requires only simplistic code. Here we don't need to specify anything from whatever is available in the Kaggle. There are some other ways also. I'll try with the VGGNet and ImageNet or FaceNet VG19 later. Then why we are getting better accuracy.
Yeah, but from what I know, VGG19 I think returns semantic segmentation of images, so it is probably a colored image.
Yeah, maybe.
Last time
I never used VGG19 for face detection before.
Okay, and it's
Okay,
very
okay.
heavy model from what I have
Yeah.
experienced. It is really heavy
Yeah.
model. It requires yeah.
You can explain the rest of the code meanwhile.
Okay. Okay. Can you see this thing? I calculated, I plot the training loss and validation loss. Whenever when the validation loss is, I think, below than less than training loss, then you can see the model is underfitting. Whenever it is higher than training loss, it is overfitting. So we need something. Till now it was fine. And let's the before the this thing, I think the last accuracy I calculated my accuracy was 74%, which is still very less. I need at least more than we need more than 90%, somehow around 80, more than 88%. Okay, it may be complete.
So is this a commercial grade model, Atmavit? Is it product worthy?
Yeah, it is product worthy.
But you trained it on your personal custom images.
Yeah, that, see, if you look at the images, uh, if you look at the images here, it's a color light is, see, it is very slow here. See, here the light and the face value very dark. It
See,
is
the
not
thing is,
clear.
you need to run
Yeah,
inference on other third-party images and check the accuracy. Because this is training data, so it could have
yeah,
overfit the training data. So question is, can this model generalize to new unseen images from
yeah,
outside with other people? So then if you do a lot of that testing
yeah,
and it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
well, then we
yeah,
can say it's production worthy.
yeah, it can be, but the problem, we need better images only for this model, like with proper light and everything. Okay, maybe completed till now. Yeah, and now this gives me very less accuracy. I don't know. Let's this thing. See, this is very less than training loss. Here you can find out. Let's check the accuracy. Only 33% I get till now. Now,
Yeah, that's okay. This is
yeah, yeah,
overfitted model.
yeah.
It's
It's all
overfit with training
random.
data.
Yeah, it's a
So
random value, so
uh,
it changes
it's a
the.
limited data set, so it has overfit the training and data set
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not
yeah,
performing
yeah,
well on validation, which is fine.
yeah.
So for
Uh,
generalization, you need massive data set.
yeah. At least 10K images related to that, so that we can run it properly.
Yeah, a variety of people, not just one
Yeah,
person's
not
test.
just one person. Yeah. Now let's load the model, and here it was the previous model. Now let's go to the folder, training folder. This is the latest one which we have to learn. Which is this model has higher accuracy than this code. So let's 0 1 right. Yeah, it already last time also it was like 0 1 2. It's slow, and also downloaded to for testing purposes. I downloaded these two videos, and if you want to run the videos in notebook on any environment, it should be in MP4 format only. And yeah, this is one video from mine which detects some emotion, and this is another video is from movie Golmaal. Okay, see, I created the label here for testing the model. For 0 it rectifies 1, for confused 1 for confused, and 2, and I detect the color with some random value. You can this value you can give anything like 255, 255, 255 also will be fine for color detection. Let's run the model and then go to the next part. See. Yeah, I've created two videos for cap 1 and cap 2. Vid 1, which is I think Golmaal video for cap 1, cap 2 is my video, and I'm going with the Golmaal. If you here see, I define the image here. For grayscale I'm using this one to created that created images from that video in grayscale, and faces I'm using the scaling only 1.3 here for grayscale, and for XYWH for I here XYWH defines only eyes, ears, nose, and lips. Sorry, ear, it doesn't in emotion it doesn't require ear, actually it's forehead, eyes, forehead, nose, and lips. and I've trained I train with 100 images, right? Before here I selected here 100 images. So yeah, I normalized. I go with resize the 100 by 100, normalize the images. My RGB value is 255. Then again I reshape the images. Then result model will be predict the result here. Created the label here and put some rectangle for every faces. It will put some rectangle. And it is the like coordinate. We will give the coordination whenever to x plus w, y plus s means from this point to this point. Will create a rectangle here. Again another create another rectangle. This is the loss area. Then put text if you want to put text. It required or it doesn't even required if you don't want. And here I am so live and image here and cb2 that would give. If my image is greater than 27, it will break. Let's run this code. Yeah, see. As of we can see in that Haar cascade, it ignore all the facts here. It only captures the image only. Sorry, face only. But somehow, because of less accuracy, I think it is showing with this. It's only showing the confused because of very less accuracy given by my model. I need to improve my model by adding some more features, more labels, and more images.
Okay, so yeah, good attempt overall. So lots of things you tried.
Yeah.
Any questions, audience? Are we done, Atmavit?
Yeah.
Okay. Any final questions, folks? Okay, so if there are no questions, so this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel in a few days. Thank you all for joining. Thanks a lot, Atmavit. Lots of research you did to make this work. Pretty good attempt, I have to say. And thank you, audience, for joining. Okay, any final comments or questions? Okay, then. Thanks, Atmavit. We'll see you all later. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you, Vivek. Thanks, everyone.